Unacademy. Let's crack it.
Hi everyone. Today in this amazing interview, we have a knowledge hub with us. None other than Ajmal Shehzad Alier Router. So now, having an engineering background and also hailing from the God's own country, that is the state of Kerala, this vibrant young man has proved himself as an amazing soft skill trainer as well, who even conducts various programs under the banner of the Kerala government, like ASAP programs, training thousands of youngsters and making sure that they are having a wonderful career ahead. So now, with such an amazing profile, this vibrant young man, Ajmal, has also cleared his UPSC examination and he has secured All India rank 254. So I heartily welcome you to this interview program and my heartfelt congratulations to you on this achievement from me and my team at Unacademy.
Thanks a lot, Nisha. Thanks very much. Thank you very much. Thank you.
I'm so happy to see that beautiful smile in you. I know that so much of happiness you have because it is not a first attempt. So,
Yeah,
to
right.
talk about Ajmal, I can tell you that it took 7 long years.
Yep.
Right after he finishing his graduation in engineering, he started his preparation and he gave his first attempt in the year 2013. So now, since then, his journey has been on a continuous basis. And now in 2019, yes, he has made it up. So it is not the first time Ajmal is clearing his service. Already he has cleared before. He got his IRS, but he didn't opt for it because he wanted to achieve the ultimate goal of IAS, which was always in his dreams. And today we have him here, yes, with an absolutely amazing rank and looking forward to progress in whatever you want. So yes, Ajmal, you
Okay.
have a
Yeah.
long story to go. I know, inspiring one because it is
Yeah.
not a first
Definitely.
attempt. I
Yep.
know after attempting 3 interviews and clearing 5 main, it's not an easy stuff task to keep continuing on the same journey. So long 7 years of preparation has taught you so many things. So
Yep.
that's why I said you are a hub of knowledge and experiences in this field of UPSC.
Definitely.
So what is the feeling you got in the seventh attempt when you cleared the so-called examination?
Definitely. I was very, very, very happy because I have achieved this feat after so many failures. So that adds to the the happiness. And I would say like more than me, my parents, my friends, they were all more happy, and I was actually happy to see them happy. Okay, so like they were all happy and calling me.
Spreading happiness
Yeah,
everywhere.
so it was like spreading happiness, definitely.
Amazing. So again, that's an amazing answer wherein he found happiness through clearing the service. That's again there. So you know that long 7 years is not an easy thing. So what is the first thing that you felt when you gave the examination for the very first time? What is the first thing that you felt? Did you think that it will take so long for you to clear the examination?
Uh, no, honestly, no, definitely nobody ever thinks it like that.
Yes, exactly.
So I thought like, okay, this was okay. Like I cleared my prelims in my first attempt, so I was confident there. Like I knew that if I studied well, I could clear. But then I would say like there was a lack of proper guidance. Like the syllabus was new. Like the 2013 syllabus was new. They had recently changed the syllabus. So and many of my friends they could not clear. So even I did not have a proper study circle also, so I was studying alone, and I studied this randomly. Honestly, it was my mistake. So I did not properly study the mains or complete the syllabus or do answer writing sessions, things, etc. So, but I felt that if I study, I could clear. So I felt that this was an exam, like it was not an unsurmountable exam, something like that. It was possible to pass this exam. So definitely, so I kept on writing till I could get.
Wonderful. So you learn from your mistakes.
Yeah.
So what are the mistakes that you learned from every attempt you did? So many attempts you had, and in fact, you made up the interview as well. So it's not an easy task to go up to
Yes.
the interview. But each time, 3 times, oh my God, 3 times you made it up. And then again, you're back starting from the scratch. So what are the things that you learned in all these phases?
Yeah. So let me say that to all those aspirants, like you never need 7 attempts to clear this exam. That is the first thing I should say, because that is the greatest thing I have learned. I have learned that maximum in a maximum of 2 attempts you can easily clear the exam if you give the if you are willing to work hard and if you have a correct guidance. So what I learned was, my journey was actually a mixed bag. Initially, I cleared the two prelims, and then I could not clear the two prelims, the third and fourth one. But then what I did was actually I did not really try to analyze my mistakes in the second, or and I mean the second time was good. I just missed by a few 30 marks. I mean the mains, but the third and fourth I was engaged in a job, so I was into that, focusing on that job. So uh, the ego thing was there. Like I had to stand on my own feet. My parents were always willing to support, definitely, but then like I wanted to be earn my like
Yeah, you
so
want to be very
financially.
independent because
Yeah,
I'm,
I wanted
I'm
to be independent.
again, let's not depend on others. So you were
Yeah,
literally preferring to be a working professional. So you come under the category of a working professional who was a student, then became a working professional, and then prepared for the examination. So there are
yeah,
so many, pros and cons for a working professional during preparation. You cannot devote your full 100% that time. So how did you manage being a working professional? How did you manage to, carry on your preparation?
yeah. I would say that I had cleared the exam by when I was working, and the second time I was working, like this year, I was a full time employee with the Department of Posts. And before that, in my fifth attempt, actually I was not working. I had resigned from the as a skill trainer. So I know both the situations. So basically, I would say to all that, if you do not have any financial constraints, or if your parents are willing to support you, you should not opt for a job. Okay, and if otherwise, like if there is financial issues, you don't have any choice, but you have to go for a job. But what I learned when I was working and preparing is that each second or each minute is very precious. So I had my duty on alternate days. I had to travel by train about 150 kilometers, and I had job in every alternate days. So what I did was I used to study from the train, and whenever I could get time, I mean, I used to complete my job early, and every staff was supportive also. Like they used to tell me to encourage me to study, like you go and study, like we'll finish the job and all. So I felt that each minute was precious. So I was maximum. There was optimum utilization of time while I was working and preparing. So that was what I learned from that.
So the supporting factors, the environment, and your friends really help you. That's a
Yeah,
blessing. It's a blessing
definitely.
to get
Yeah.
people like that.
Yes, yes,
They
yes.
said that, tell me who is your friend. I'll tell you what you are or how you are. So the ones who surround us, that shows what we are also. So you had an amazing bunch of friends and colleagues
Yes.
who really supported and a family as well. So that's another advantage. So now all throughout this journey, each time, the first, second, third, fourth, it goes like that. You would have
Yeah.
learned one lessons or experiences, right? So now, in the nook of your preparation, when you reach the interview for the very first time, what did you feel during that time?
And my the very first interview, right?
The very
The
first interview, yeah.
Yeah, so that time actually I had pretty much analyzed my past mistakes in the last 4 years, and I was well prepared. I was I left my home and went to Trivandrum, and I started preparing there alone. I did a lot of tests and all. So I knew that I would clear the prelims immediately after the exam. So I took a break one day and then started studying again. And the mains also, I had a good company. My friend Jinesh Attan was there, so we used to prepare together. And I was confident that I would clear the mains also. And the interview was a great experience. Going to Delhi, like
Again,
oh,
yeah.
we go to the we go stay at the Kerala house there. So that is again a privilege, and entering the UPC campus again. That was again a great feeling. So interview was very good actually. I could smile throughout, and
I
I
can
could
see
open
it.
my mind, and the
You are
conversation
really
was
spreading so much of smile.
yeah, the conversation was very jovial and all. So, and I felt that you had to be genuine. You can say no wherever you can say no. I mean, if you don't know anything, you can say no in the interview. There is not an issue, and you had to be genuine, and you have to be aware of your the current affairs, your state, etc. So the basic thing is like interview is all about being genuine, being you. So they are testing your personality. So the questions were like that regarding my opinions, and I honestly said that it was a more or less a balanced opinion I had, and I could justify my opinions, and it was a very jovial one, I would say.
Wonderful. That is your first experience. Then you had a second time, third
Yeah,
time, and now the fourth time.
yeah.
So now it
I
continues
mean,
like that.
third
So
interview,
every,
right?
sorry, third time.
Three
So
interviews.
every now and then you had different experience. You were learning from your mistakes, right?
Yeah,
So
yeah,
now that is what. And finally, in the last attempt, how did you, what are the things that you literally, understood or you changed? Because already you have attended 2 interviews.
Yeah.
So now this time you had a notion that, okay, you're not going to give up at any cost. So what are the things that made you change this time when you attended the interview?
Interview, yes. This time actually, I studied very less for the interview, and I did not attend any mocks, zero mocks this time. And what I felt was knowledge was not that important at the interview stage. Okay, they already test your knowledge at the prelims and mains. Even they say that in the notification also. It is not for testing your knowledge. So.
But your
Uh,
personality.
yeah, personality. So I was like, actually I was thorough about my the DAF detail application form. The details in there, I was thorough about myself, my work experience, and my home state, etc. I was thorough. But and above that, I did not do any specific preparation. I used to read newspaper daily. I used to read editorial, that was it. And I used to discuss with my friends daily. I mean, the issues we used to discuss on a daily basis, like it was a normal conversation with the friends, like they are
You
also
had
preparing.
like a very, because you already, the fear of interview, that nervousness was
Yeah.
gone from you.
Yes,
Because you, it
yeah.
is like, it became like, Arey, come on, I am going in this meeting some people who have met before. So you had that kind of feeling. I can understand that because
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
twice you have been there and again next time. But now you would have learned a lot from your mistakes. That's there. So amazing. Happy to know that. So I know this time the board also could not leave you like that. This fellow is coming all the way. How can we leave him without giving a rank?
Actually, this is the first time the chairman said at the concluding at the conclusion, he said that keep smiling. So this is
Yeah,
the
yeah,
first
I
time he
can
said.
see that. Nobody can say no to you. You have an
Yeah,
amazing smile. See,
yeah,
when I'm taking an interview, I feel so happy to see that. It's a positive
okay.
quality. It is
Yeah,
said that
thank,
the best makeup for any person in this world is to have a beautiful smile. Because that
thank
can erase
you.
all the sorrows. Seriously. And I can see also long 7 years of journey, this smile in you has been reflected both inside and outside. And that's why today you stand at this wonderful, position. Happy for that. So
Thank
now, be it prelims and mains, we know the strategies everybody adopt is different, right?
you. Yeah,
So
thank
now, since from your point of view, you would have so many things to say because your journey is long.
you.
Initially, how you prepared for your prelims. Then later, what did you do to change it? Because we learn from mistakes, right? So, what is the strategy for prelims that you adopted and you changed over the years?
Okay. I would say that I did not change much regarding the prelims preparation because I was confident of I cleared it in the first 2 attempts. Then the
Hmm.
third and fourth attempt, it was because I was not updated with the current affairs, etc. It was my mistake on my part. But the basic thing was, I would say that I read my foundations very well. The subjects like the polity, the spectrum, like the history, like all those subjects, I had a good foundation. I used to focus on that. The static part was clear. Then the second part, I used to write what I say, like I used to write from notes from the PAB, the government website, and also the Hindu newspaper regarding films. And what I did was like I learned by heart the questions, the previous year questions, and uh, and the topics. Okay, like many of the people I see, like the polity is equivalent to Lakshmigant, but there is more to polity. Like in the syllabus, we see that there is Indian polity and governance, and there is topics like Panchayati Raj, political system, rights issues. So we have to prepare all this. So I made sure that I learned by heart the previous question papers. I made a thorough analysis, and I used to go according to the UPSC. Like there were many focus areas, so I used to learn by thoroughly those focus areas in the static part. Current affairs part, I used to make my own notes from PAB and Hindu and revise thoroughly. That's all.
Okay.
And again, I would say that the prelims is not about knowledge alone. Like we have to take risks. Okay, like even if you study everything and we won't get more than 50 correct in the first
Okay.
attempt.
It's
Like
about taking risk
it's
and
about,
having
yeah,
the approach to
totally.
solving the question.
Yeah,
Amazing.
definitely.
Yeah. What is it? Some techniques or tips you'll give to students to clear prelims for the upcoming aspirants?
Yeah, now you have hardly 1.5 months for the prelims. So we have to revise now, make sure that the foundations are strong. Because lately they have been asking current affairs, like static topics based on the current affairs.
Current
Like
affairs.
if,
Yeah. That
if
is our
speaker is
source for great community.
regularly coming in the news, they ask the basics of the speaker, the office of the speaker. Like such questions are being asked. So foundation, you have to make it revise it thoroughly. There are focus areas for each subject. You have to that you have to do an analysis. Like climate change is being asked, like a lot of questions are being
Yeah.
asked from climate change. And for ancient history, the first 4 chapters, like Harappa, Buddha, the Vedic ages, and
Yes.
Ashoka, these are very important. So focus on these focus areas, revise them thoroughly. and current affairs from wherever you have learned now. And I mean, you don't have time to make new notes or not. Now, wherever you have learned, make sure that you revise it at least twice. You try to understand the basic concepts. Like they are asking the basic concepts, applications, and objectives. These things are being asked. So don't study too much details, but the basic aspects of every team or every new term like that. So that is and also if you are doing test series or etc, like a lot of people are doing many of test series, don't mug up too much content. Okay, instead try to find out
Analyze the
where you have
question.
went wrong. Okay, how you
Method
have
of
made it.
approach. It's like, when I teach classes, if you have seen my MCQ class,
Mm,
I teach students with the method of approach. It's not
okay.
solving 1,000 MCQ
Mm,
questions. It's about 10
mm,
questions also. What is the method? So I,
right.
recently, from my experience, I developed an approach called as KEC. Okay.
Okay.
The method of keyword technique, elimination technique, and comparison technique. So many
Okay.
people came and asked me, "Ma'am, why this comparison? Keyword and elimination is known to people." So I
Mm-hmm.
made a ratio for that, or let's say a kind of analysis for that,
Mm-hmm.
because keyword is correct or incorrect
Okay.
to identify the statement. Those are the
Okay.
keywords. Then
Mm-hmm.
what is the question all about? And now from that question, let's say for example, if there is a question called as hunger index. Now, how will you compare that with given statements 1, 2, 3, and establish a connection, and then go for elimination? So I think this literally worked for me when did my preparation, and also for so many aspirants whom I'm seeing doing great these days in the class. What is your view on that? Do you think this will help them?
Yeah, definitely. This is one area where people don't work. Like,
Yeah, wonderful.
what is the current trend is like everybody go for the test series, and from the test series, what they get is like a lot of content. So the thinking process is not happening there.
Hmm.
So what I've learned is like
Analysis is not happening. Yeah.
analysis is not happening. Like for a UPC question, prelims question, you have to think. You have to have a basic thinking. If you do not think, you will get it wrong. There is high probability, and if you overthink, also there is a high probability that you would get it wrong. So you have to have a basic thinking about each question and options. You have to go by elimination. That is a tested method. So what I would suggest is like if you are doing test series, just try to analyze where you went wrong, right, or why you made that thing wrong, rather than mugging up a lot of content. Okay,
Wonderful.
so try to
Analysis
identify.
and the
Yeah,
method is very important.
that
Wonderful.
is
Because this
important.
is what I normally, because being an MCQ expert, I do this for my students. So I just
Okay.
want to ask the toppers or people who have cleared, will this really work for them? I think many people
Mhm.
came and told me that as well. So I think
Okay.
this is an wonderful strategy to clear, right? Because you can take risk. The
Yes,
whole
you
point being
have to.
is that,
Yeah,
yeah, we have to take risk for examination, that is there. But that for that you require confidence also.
yeah,
So now
definitely.
for this prelims, whatever you said is very logical, in fact, practical as well. I really appreciate you for that.
Yeah, one more thing is like try to maintain a clear head when you are in the exam hall. Don't like study all the night day before, because you have to think. So your mind has to be very clear. You don't there's If you are tensed also, you won't be able to crack it. So keep things cool, chill. This is an exam, you have studied well, then definitely you can clear it. Like that is another aspect. Okay, in the exam hall you have to maintain that.
That is true. Nervousness should not be there. Wonderful. That will
Yeah,
reduce your, I understand.
exactly.
So now, from what you said, I understood that for prelims is a way you should prepare the strategy.
Yes.
But don't you think so? Prelims, as you said, many aspirants, they consider prelims as the most important exam. But actually, I think it's just a qualifying part. Just not a
Yes.
qualifying part, sorry.
Mm.
It is, apart from being a qualifying criteria, it has a lot more things to do, because for mains examination you can express what you want, but prelims A B C D multiple choice questions, you have to like kind of go for it. So now, what are the things that you would suggest the aspirants who are writing the exam in the coming year with regard to prelims, like the subjects to focus or the areas to focus
Okay, for the prelims.
for the prelims?
Yeah,
Tips for me.
that I would say like each subject has a focus area. Like I said, like for environment they are more focusing on the biodiversity and climate change aspects, rather than the basic concepts. Not much questions are being asked. Then from ancient India, I told you like the first four chapters, the Harappan, Vedic age, later Vedic age,
Yeah,
Buddhism,
all these things.
Jainism, and the the Ashoka. Then for medieval India, even I did not do a very heavy preparation in that part. I
To
was
tell you
not
what,
well
I
versed
many
in that.
aspirants who spoke to me, they're saying, "Ma'am, we skipped medieval India."
Yeah,
I don't know why people keep, unless and until the person is having history optional. Okay,
yeah,
we
yeah,
skip
yeah.
medieval India, but we skip in the sense that you people are strong in the other areas. So why
Yeah,
people skip
definitely.
medieval India? Why there's a tendency for that?
That is because like we have analyzed the previous year questions, and what we see that they ask usually less questions. Okay, I mean in the 2019 or 18 they asked many questions from medieval. I
Yeah.
don't remember exactly the year,
So that
but
they usually
apart
tend
from
to be
that,
different.
yeah,
So
they
people,
asked
that's
many
what I was
questions.
wondering. So people when they said medieval India, one thing that came to their minds was, but in the previous year question paper,
Yeah,
majority portions came from medieval, which people skipped.
yeah,
So how
yeah.
did you feel that?
No, actually, I was strong in other areas, so I
That's
was not
nice.
worried. Okay, and then there again, I took a lot of risk, and I got it correct also. So,
Wonderful. That is a
but I would say like if you have time, definitely you should prepare everything. But medieval, I have felt is the returns is very low with respect to the vast syllabus and the questions being asked. So that is why I have just studied the basic thing, the seventh NCRT Romila Thapa text is there. So that covers the basics of medieval India. Or the Tamil Nadu text is good, I think.
yeah. Tamil Nadu book is
On state
highly, the
level,
state book is highly preferred for
that,
covering
that
yeah,
state
history.
was good.
Yeah.
That book is good. Then I would say for ancient India, then medieval, the modern India, definitely the freedom movement aspect is more important. The various
Yeah.
movements, you have to be well versed with the chronology. Various personalities are being asked, so you have to go according to the question paper. They are asking a personality every year, an organization is being asked, and a movement is being asked. So these are the areas that are being asked. So you have to focus accordingly.
This
And
year it could be Quit India movement.
yeah,
It could be
definitely.
because
Yeah,
yeah,
and
could
also
be.
like post 1857 has been more important, I felt. Then for geography, I would say oceanography and climatology, the basic concepts are
I know
important.
geography, you're so
Yeah.
smart because you're optionalist geography. I'll come to that question. I know you're so smart in geography.
They hardly ask anything from geomorphology and everything. So the smart way is to prepare thoroughly oceanography and climatology.
Yeah, to kind of save your
Yeah,
time and feel wonderful.
yeah,
I'm so
definitely.
happy to know that these many details you analyzed over the years of preparation. Even the topics are by for you because
Yeah.
you understand. Okay, come on, this is what will come for you, PSC. I
I
have
will
had
do
enough.
this all this years. Yeah, right.
I understand. That is what the experience talks actually.
Yeah,
So
cool.
now the same thing again. Moving on to mains, you have the same strategy. You had a strategy for prelims. So what is the
Hmm.
strategy that you adopted for the mains perspective, and what all you changed over the years with regard to your presentation of answer writing, and
Hmm.
also with regard to seeking on to word limit, which is very important, which is very difficult for some aspirants, and also. These days, I think more of questions are based on current affairs perspective, as you said,
Okay.
even for mains as well. So, what is that one thing that you analyzed in mains preparation in 2013 as well as in 18, that journey of 7 years, and what is the strategy you adopted accordingly?
Okay. So initially, I did not do any answer writing. I made my notes from the Hindu. I made my own notes. I analyzed the previous question papers, and I got many questions that I prepared, but I had to leave about 200 250 marks because my writing speed was slow. I did not practice that. Then in the fifth attempt that I cleared, like the initially two attempts I wrote, and that the issue was like answer writing. I did not focus. The time was there. Then in the fifth attempt, I actually studied with a friend. So I felt that the mains preparation is more useful if you have a peer group. Prelims I did alone. I studied alone, but mains, like what we used to do is like we used to write 5 answers per day, daily, on a daily basis.
Five answers.
Yeah, 5 answers we used to day, and we used to discuss those.
Of
Okay,
same topics or subjects or different subjects?
different subject, like we used to cover every subject, so we
Okay.
have to cover everything. So
Yeah.
I joined the test series also at the same time. I We used to write daily 5 answers, so that was a thing that worked in that year. And I could almost complete, so that was the greatest thing I have felt, like I could complete the paper, all GS4 papers. So the speed was there. So and in the next attempt, this year 2019,
Mm.
again we had a peer group. My friends were there. We used to write daily 5 answers, and this time we also made a standard definitions, standard headings. Like for each area, we have different headings. Like we have to categorize accordingly. For IR, like the strategic, the
Mm.
economic, strategic people, people to people contact, etc. For geography, it may be different. Like the climatological aspect or the like. So we used to make
Yeah.
headings according to categorize for different subjects. And again, this time I did not attend the test very well, but we made sure that we used to write 5 answers daily, and we used to discuss those in detail. And so that covered the studying aspects also. Like we studied from our answer writing also, and at the same time we also
Improve your
developed a speech.
presentation skill, and also there is something called as keyword, right? Critically
Yeah,
analyze, evaluate,
yeah, both,
examine,
both, both,
describe,
both.
and mostly you can see discuss
Yeah,
and critically analyze, evaluate. These are the keywords which UPSC really focus, and there's a
yeah,
pattern for it. If you
yep,
have
yep.
critically evaluate, analyze means introduction to the point, immediately pros, cons, or advantage or disadvantage, or issue or challenge, followed by way forward or suggestions. You cannot conclude an answer without that. There's a format. So do you believe in that? Because many students now they do not know that. So did this really help you in fetching marks? That is, there is a body or matlab, what do I say, there's a pattern based on the keyword. You have to have some headings. So did it really help you all throughout your journey preparation?
Yeah, actually, that helped because they give different keywords so that we have to answer differently. So that
Exactly. Well, the
otherwise
same
they could give the
topic
same
can
keyword.
be
Yeah.
given, yeah, the same topic.
Yeah.
Let's say, for example, let's take a topic based on Human Development Index. Okay,
Yeah.
I'm from economy. So now
Okay.
they can give you discuss HDI and also critically evaluate. The same thing in two different ways you have to present.
Okay.
So, what is that difference you have to bring in the paper? What would you
Okay.
say tell the aspirants?
Yeah, like the second level I have felt is like the examine, discuss, analyze these things. I have felt like we have to write the both sides of the issue. We
Hmm.
have to examine the issue. We have to write the both sides, and we can take a balanced opinion or something like that. For the critically evaluate, I usually felt like we have to take a stand also in the conclusion. We have to have a clear stand, and we have to again critically evaluate is like many people confuse it with criticism. Like many people
Yeah.
ask me like, do we have to focus on criticism? It's not like that. But critically evaluate, we have to analyze or evaluate all the aspects related to it. We have to detail. We have to give reasons for each of that aspects, and you have to write the both sides. If it is a binary thing, both sides of the issue, or multiple, mostly it's a binary thing. Like the critically evaluate, we have to write the pros and cons of the both sides of the issue, and then followed by like the way forward we write. And and in the conclusion I make sure that I used to take a stand there. Okay, this is my stand, like uh, a definite stand for the critically question. I used to take that thing. And discuss, I used to take a balanced opinion. Like uh, for example, discuss, we can deal in two ways. Either it can be a binary thing. Okay, the like virtually a debate itself. Like in a debate we have two sides of the argument,
Yeah.
like
So you
globalization.
have the for the motion,
Yeah,
against the motion.
yeah,
Correct.
for globalization, against globalization, and finally we can take a balance stand
Yeah. Like
for
deglobalization could be the solution. Yeah. One
yeah.
solution you can bring in here.
Yeah, other other aspect I felt is like discuss also have another meaning. Like you have to write the multiple dimensions. For example, if you are asked to deal with terrorism, you can't say the good aspects of terrorism. You have to
Yeah.
deal with the multiple dimensions of terrorism,
Dimension of
like
terrorism.
the financing,
Because
funding,
there is
etc.
nothing good in terrorism. That is a good
Yeah,
part.
yeah. So
We
yeah,
cannot be anti-nationals also to go
yeah.
like that.
So we cannot. It depends on the question, I would say.
Passion and
Like,
topics. Yeah.
yeah, the keyword will also change. Like there is.
Wonderful. So what is the thing that you did? As you said, practicing with the team. Teamwork worked a lot for you. Wonderful.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
when you learn as a group, yeah, it really reflects. Teamwork really gives you
yeah,
success.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Now, you practice daily. So did
Yeah.
you change over the years any of the things with regard to preparation for mains, like your prelims?
Yeah, mains actually. No, I would say like the time given for optional it increased actually. So
And
this time, yeah, I gave more time for the optional.
more after, because when you talk about mains, again, it's not the general papers, GS
Yeah,
papers.
yeah, yeah,
Of course, it's the options. And I know that you are a wonderful lover of geography.
yeah,
And yet, again, your option was geography, right?
yeah,
So
yeah,
many people, I think majority people go with geography, PubAd, sociology. These are the kind of common top subjects people prefer. And the
mhm,
competition is very high.
yeah,
Because many people, let's say lakhs of people, or let's say thousands of people opt for that
yeah.
because it's a common subject.
Mm.
So, what was your strategy for this optional? And now, did you change the optional or in all these 7 years, or you
No,
had a single?
I
No, no.
still
Oh
I used
my
to study
God, that
geography.
shows your love for the subject. So, right from 2013 to 19, you had the same optional,
Yeah,
which
actually,
means
initially even
that
I did not have any confusion. Like when I was choosing my option, okay, I just had to go through the list, and geography was there. Okay, I looked at the syllabus. Yeah, I was very happy with it. So I took it.
then you had some interest for it. So, do you think that
Yeah.
because if you have not changed the optional over the years, you would have understood that optional was not a problem for you in clearing the examination, it was something else, right? So now tell me, how did this optional work out for you, and what are the things that you followed, the strategy, or let's say the simple things which every person with geography or an aspirant who wants to take geography should keep in mind? Because over the years you didn't
Yeah.
change it. Yeah.
Yeah, actually, I changed the strategy this time for geography because there is a module called geomorphology, and that is very lengthy. That is the first module in the first paper, and if you start thoroughly studying that module, and in that time you could study all other modules. So this time, what I focus is like I focused on human geography aspect. The paper in the paper one section B we have human geography. So that is actually I found that that is more rewarding. So if you thoroughly study the human geography, you can select three questions from human geography and two from physical geography. So that is a mostly safe option. So I made sure that I was thorough with the human geography aspect, and answer writing again I practiced. I read answer writing also I practiced. I used to do the answer writing, but and again I maintained a lot of a book for diagrams and a book like because diagram is
Diagram plays a very important
very
role
very
too.
important aspect. The maps, the diagrams separately for
So you,
every
you
topic
did
I used
you
to
love
maintain.
learning through maps? How was it difficult? What are some tips that you will give the students to learn geography through maps? Because maps is very important in
Yeah,
geography.
very much. Actually, I did not take biology in my 12th standard because I used to hate drawing, and then here I had to draw the map of India and world map. So I started. I used to daily. I used to draw and study. I used to practice and practice and practice, and I used to make it perfect. And I would say that maps are very important in geography.
So what is
For
the trick
every
that you will give to students? Because not only for options, even for the GS also maps are important.
yeah.
So geography through maps is something that students really want to know how to simplify it. So what are the tricks that you will give to aspirants
Hmm.
to make geography very easy by learning through maps? The tricks for learning geography through maps.
Yeah, I would say that the first thing is you start like learning how to draw an Indian map and a world map. You have to, you have to draw that under 30 seconds. So you have to practice that. Then for every, even it can be used for any other topic because what I've seen is like those who take geography as optional, they draw map wherever they can. In IR also they draw. Like in GS3, the agriculture, they draw the maps, and disaster management again they draw maps. So they draw maps everywhere. I would say that drawing maps is an easy way to convey complex things. Like uh, we draw maps in order to avoid writing all those things. So there should be a purpose, not for the sake of drawing just maps. The purpose is like
Effective marks.
yeah, what you write we can actually represent in that map. So like you can represent the geographical distribution of cyclones if they're asking about cyclones. So again, you don't need to write again the distribution of the cyclones. So everything is simply explained there. Or for example, if you take GS3 internal security cross border terrorism, you can draw a map and you can represent the what are, like if the question is what are the various issues at the borders, we can highlight the borders and we can label in the map itself, and we don't have to write all those things. So map can be used in a very smart way. It is very effective, and even while learning geography, you for each topic you maintain a map. So like there is topics like the coral reefs. So coral reefs, you draw a map for the distribution of coral reefs in the world. So if that will give you a value addition to your answer. And for a tsunami, cyclone, these things are there in GS1. So again, you can draw a distribution like map showing the distribution of cyclones in India as well as for the world. So then there is the factors for the location of industries. So if you're studying various industries, then you can label that in a map again. And in the behind the map, if you're preparing a like if you're drawing a map and behind the map, you can write the reasons for the distribution. So in geography, it is important that the where aspect is important, like the distribution of various phenomena, and why of the where. Why it is distribution in that certain area. Okay, if you are studying about a certain climate or why it is there. So these two aspects are important. So in a map, simply in a paper, you can write the distribution, and behind that you can write the reasons for that distribution.
So this is
So that
this
is
is
one way
one
of it.
trick in which you can easily learn geography through
Yeah,
maps.
yeah, yeah, definitely.
Wonderful. It's an amazing trick. I think so many people will be benefiting out of it.
Yeah,
Because many
even I
people
would say like
and
yeah, sorry to interrupt. Like even for prelims, like it is better if you use maps. Like even for history, you can mark the various events like in the map, like the revenue settlement system. If you're learning, like you can draw map and you can draw the locations, mark the
Mhm.
locations, and there itself we can write the points of the revenues, like various settlement systems. For art and culture, for marking various festivals, etc. Then for environment, the national parks, no, the UNESCO heritage sites. So maps can be
Oh
used
my God.
everywhere. That is,
I'm talking to a geographer, somebody with
yeah,
knowledge of
definitely.
geography, and you have made the entire UPSC into a map, yeah. Thank God you won't say economy also to learn by a map. We will say that also.
No, no, no.
I don't
No,
think
I
you can
can't
learn.
say that.
That
Yeah,
is
obviously.
difficult, I think. But whatever, it's a good thing because you see,
Yeah,
not only geography, history, art and culture,
yeah,
environment, you can IR. So all these things, map is having a lot of relevance.
yeah,
So
correct.
that's why I asked you some tricks. So taking geography, the advantage is you people become so good in maps.
Yeah,
And now that mapping enable you to make your preparation more easy. Wonderful, wonderful. I really like that, amazing point from you. So this is what you did basically. For your options, also
yeah,
the same thing you did.
yeah,
So now
definitely.
what are the things that you should do? Because geography is one of the most highly chosen option by the aspirants. So competition is very high. So what are some important ways in which you can score better for geography option?
I would say that competition is not a matter at all because we have to compete with ourselves. You have to bring the best potential in you. Okay, so like
Exactly.
we just need one seat, and so we have to. What we are doing is actually we have to compete with ourselves. We have to bring our best. We have to prepare in a smart way. So geography, what you have to do is. The advantage you should understand that if you study the paper two, many ignore the paper two also. In the geography, paper two is whole of India, so it covers every aspect of India: the population of India, the climate of India, the resources of India, the politics of India, the geopolitics of India, the regional planning, everything. So make sure that you also learn completely every topic in paper two, because uh, the advantage you get is actually is in the GS papers. So if you learn GS2 paper thoroughly, what you have to understand is if you cover all the topics in geography, then you have a very good advantage in the GS papers. In GS3, in the social justice aspect, we have the disaster management, environment, the international relations. We have the geopolitics we have to learn. So IR is to an extent is covered there about Indian Ocean, etc. Then cropping pattern in the GS3 aspects, those things are covered. GS1 you have a lot of geography, and in society there are various aspects we can add from the population geography.
We
So
can start connecting and studying.
yeah, connecting and study. So there are a lot of overlapping areas. So if you study geography thoroughly, you
Which
can
is
avoid studying. We can avoid repetition in the GS aspect. So that is what we can do. And for GS1, I would say that focus on human geography paper, because that is you get a lot of returns from there. The paper one is the first section, physical geography, is a little bit tougher. So that is again there. Then I would say do not leave any question. Attempt any question, even if you have a spare little knowledge. I think if you don't know anything, also like take some guess at least.
Why
So
such
that,
kind of notion?
because I felt like if you leave something, like you are losing at least 1 or 2 marks. Like even 1 mark is important.
Matters
Like
a lot. I can understand that one
yeah,
mark and even point one, because
yeah,
the
it
journey,
will.
again I repeat, 7 years journey. Point one is very important. Come on,
Yes,
എനിക്ക്
yes, yes.
മനസ്സിലാവും. അത്രയും കഷ്ടപ്പെട്ട് ബുദ്ധിമുട്ടി അല്ലേ?
Yeah, that,
Oh my God. So little of Malayalam can be added in between, no problem.
okay, 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 right.
So I can understand that. So that's amazing. So even point one, or let's say, yeah, 0.5 marks is equally important for you in clearing the examination. So let's not take a risk of leaving it. Wonderful. That's an amazing thing which I got from you. So you have shared about your prelims, your mains, and your interview strategies and your experiences. It is worth listening. So now, all throughout your strategical discussion, you are highlighting equally on current affairs, because you are a person who has witnessed the two phases of UPSC before this change in examination, matlab changing to multiple choice questions, and also you really had an experience to have a look at both the syllabus before 2015 and after that. So again, you said there were a lot of changes, and that was again a kind of disadvantage to you, but then you could cope up. So now, keeping all these things in mind, what is that thing which you really understood out of this, in the sense that when there was a change in syllabus, when there was a change in examination, did it really shatter you, or did that make you feel that you have to do a lot more thing? Or what was that one thing that you had in your mind when you had this complete change of syllabus and stuff? Because in
No,
both the phases you are there.
what I've learned is like UPSC. If you read newspaper regularly, that I don't think many people do that now. Like many rely on compilations, but what I felt is like it is easier to map the questions, or easier to we can actually identify from which area they will ask, or uh, like we can actually point out some areas from where questions can be asked, especially for the mains. Okay, for the mains is like those news in that are frequently coming in news, like they have to be thoroughly prepared. So if you're continuously, I mean, religiously following newspaper, you can actually crack the exam. So
Okay, so you are telling me that from your experiences now, from as per the current scenario is concerned, current affairs is the soul of UPSC.
yep,
Need for the static
yep,
of individual as a subject
yep,
also.
yep, yep.
So newspaper reading, then compilations. These are things which you followed, right? So some people don't prefer reading newspapers. They do not know how to go with it. So what is your advice to those people to make their current affairs preparation more simpler?
Yeah, that is actually simple. What you have to do is you have to learn the syllabus by heart first thing. Then you have to learn the 7 years question papers by heart. So now,
That's all.
if you do
Oh my
both
God.
these things,
I just like that line. Okay. Just the syllabus by heart. 7 years question paper. What a nice
like from
statement.
2013, like the syllabus has changed from
Seven,
that. So
7 years. Because you can
it's like,
proudly say that 7 years. Because 7 years I've been in this journey. Come on. So I mean,
yeah,
that's
definitely.
amazing to know that. So very nice. But yeah, previous year question papers play a major
Yeah,
role. True, true. So I'm
yeah.
happy
No,
to
like,
know that.
yeah. Hmm.
So now again, as a person who has seen so much and gathered a lot of experience, I think a mentor, a guide is very important for your preparation, right? And also, did you cut off yourself? One question is that. Second thing is that alongside, did you cut off yourself from the social medias? Because there's a normal myth that you should cut off yourself from all the social connections, which I don't personally feel you should as an aspirant. What is your take on that?
I tried that in the earlier attempts. Actually, I failed. But in this time, the attempts in those I cleared. I made up my mind that I would
You will
not
not
ban
cut down
social
from
media. I would
social
not
media.
ban social media. I would
Wonderful,
what I would
wonderful
do is
statement.
like I would control my use. Okay, I will limit my time. That I'll do. But definitely, I would not cut out from social media.
Because you're going to serve the public, the society. So how can you cut off yourself in comments like that?
Definitely.
I don't know why people do that. Anyways, that is a talk from the experience. I'm so happy to know that and glad to know that.
Okay. Right.
So now, if not UPSC, what would have been your next choice after so many attempts?
No, I don't have a choice. Like a plan B, UPSC
The
is
only
the
plan A, no plan B. Wonderful. That's again
No,
another.
I knew that I could clear this because I started this journey by reading a book by an IAS officer. So after reading that book, and then I came to know that this is an exam which can be cracked by any average student if you work hard enough. So I did not have any other plan in mind. So that's why I
You
kept
started
on
journey.
writing.
You were inspired
Yeah,
to be an officer for like that. Wonderful.
yeah.
So now already you are in the journey. Now you have really achieved the success. So now the next thing is you are literally going to be an amazing officer or a bureaucrat in the process of nation building for our country, India. So now, what are the things that you have in your mind as a person who had so much of patience in entering into this service? Because so long journey shows that consistency and patience is very much required. So these two qualities I can literally see in you, and you radiate that. So now, what are things that you have in heart? Because it's not a one night thing you got, just like that. In the next morning, you got the rank or anything. So now, over the years, you have some agendas, which is modified, which is kind of revolutionized and all. So, what is it one thing you feel, or some things which you feel you should change for the society as an officer?
Yeah, definitely. I don't see this as an end. I see this as a beginning.
Yeah.
Definitely, this exam is just a beginning. Clearing the exam is a beginning. And what I've learned is like throughout my preparations, uh, one or two things like listening to people is very important. So I used to talk or engage with people. Like even in the preparations, these discussions has helped. Like I used to talk to many of them, my colleagues. Like and I used to talk everything. We used to discuss everything. But again, when I travel, like if I travel in an auto, I used to talk to him. Like you know, we get a lot of information from the from making friends or from the people we talk.
From
So
the common man. You
yeah,
have
from the
that from the
common man.
common man.
Yeah,
Wonderful.
definitely. Yeah, so and many problems can be solved by just listening to them. Many people don't wait to listen. So and that is another thing. Like half of one's problem is solved if another guy or someone is there to listen to them.
No, I know
So
that because
yeah,
this notion, though some people, XYZ people who have cleared the examination or who's in service, they don't. They literally don't, have that patience. For them, power matters. They became IAS, the so-called tagline. So just by signing in papers or by showing off that doesn't solve the issue of society. So we have to get into roots. A kind of, I think, a grassroots level understanding is important, right? As a bureaucrat.
yes, definitely. Because even now, like on a day-to-day basis, I spend about 3 to 5 hours in social media.
Oh,
I get requests, to be honest. Like I get like many young aspirants. They want to know like how I prepared. Like they want to know someone who have cleared, and they want some help, at least some advice on how to begin something. So I take time to reply to them. So talk to each of them. So talking to people is definitely very important. Talking to
so
common
you
man is important because
exactly.
whatever heights you reach, because ultimately your whatever decision you take, these are going to affect the common man. So definitely you have to know what they think and what they want actually. So
Happy to know that. So that is your because I'm being a skill development trainer,
yeah,
being a person who
yeah,
really radiates positivity. I know that
yeah,
you love to talk because we actually spread that energy by talking.
yeah,
So I'm so happy
definitely.
to have you with us for this amazing interview where you share your strategies Believe me, you were so amazing in the details that you gave. So detailedly, you had an explanation of whatever you said, be it for geography, be it for any subjects. So there was no need for me to ask a question based on test series separately because you had the answer for that in your strategy.
Yeah, right.
Similarly for current affairs also, from the time we had the conversation, in be it in all the phases, I could see you telling about current affairs. So from that, it's understandable that yeah, all these are very important. And in fact, motivation, confidence, not giving up on what you want. Come on, and you have seen that experience speaks there. I have seen enough, so I know what will come, what will not come. One more thing which I really want to appreciate you is you can predict the areas which will come for examination. I could see that in
Yeah.
you, and that's because of experience, right?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, this thing, like, I have learned these question papers by heart. So I know where they are focusing. Like,
Yeah,
you can do that. I like, if I can do that,
every
everyone can
individual
do
can do
that.
that. Actually, yeah.
Definitely, you have to do that. Like many people, they forget that aspect. They usually go for, they don't do the basic thing. So if you do that, you can definitely. If I can do that, anyone can do that.
Wonderful. So, what is before winding up? What is the one message that you want to give to the upcoming young aspirants?
Yeah, never give up. Uh, Work harder, work smart, and never give up. That's all.
Wonderful. So, always keep smiling like this and spread positivity. Happy to have you on board for this amazing interview. And I learned two things from you, Ajmal.
Yeah.
One is somebody, I mean, a person having so much of patience. And now, no matter whatever situation, let's put a wonderful mask called a smile on our face. Seriously, I can see that.
Definitely.
Come on, I've learned that from you. Smile, smile.
Okay.
Amazing. And that is again a positive thing. Thank you so much. May God bless
Thank you,
you
thank you,
and
thanks.
may you have a great career ahead. And I should see you training as a trainer, because you're a trainer. I should see you training so many people to come up to this civil service in the
Definitely.
most efficient manner.
Yep,
And I
definitely.
hope that you'll really keep doing it because by that quality, you have an inborn quality of being an amazing orator and trainer. I even know that because again, the same organizations where we were put up in Kerala, I could see that in you. Wishing you all success from me and my team at An Academy. So all the best. Go ahead.
Thank you.
Jai
Thank
Hind,
you. Thank
Devan.
you. Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot, Nisha. Thank you. Bye. Jai Hind.